Welcome back from that break, and it's good to know you're still with us on the program Good Morning Abuja, showing right here and right now on the Unity Station. Now on to our very first conversation for the day. Elderlies, the life of elderlies, they need a very good health. They need an economic independence, and they need to be taken care of. Our guest today is a caregiver. She takes care of the elderly, a very strenuous job, yet very interesting. Help me welcome to the studio this morning, Hawa Umar Jibrin. She is the founder, the Paul's Old People's Home. Ma, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Morning, you're welcome once again. Yes, I love this part that you have decided you chose. Very interesting. Now let's start this way. Why did you decide to choose the part of the elderly?
Well, it's maybe it's not something that one chooses, but something that comes up as a matter of time.
Okay.
We discovered that most NGOs are into women and children.
Okay.
And in days gone by, we used to think every family has a responsibility to take care of their elderly ones. And that is correct, because you have no right not to take care of somebody that has labored for you, somebody that brought you to the world, somebody that has fed, brought you up, paid your school fees. You also have a duty towards that person. But because of dynamism, modernization, urbanization, you find that people are shifting from one place to another. Those in the villages are coming to the cities. Those in the cities are going abroad, thereby leaving behind elderly people. Those elderly people may not be in a position to move beyond their environment.
Yes.
They are left behind to fend for themselves. And that is why we decided that we should go this way and tell people that the elderly people need our help and we want to help them.
Yeah, very interesting, and it's a very good job you're doing. We know life is in stages, and we know once they get to that stage, they need a lot of care and they need a lot of attention.
Exactly.
Yes. You have been into giving care to the elderly. You know, taking care of the elderly is very interesting as well as difficult. And we know in your journey you have some experiences with them. Can you share some of your experiences with us?
Yes. You taking care of the elderly, just like you said, is interesting and is strenuous.
Yes.
And that is why one person cannot do it. So what we do is, right now, you even find some they are in their communities, just that they can't move outside their communities. So you what they need from you first is shelter.
Yes.
Drugs, nutrition. These are things people should provide for them to be able to make them happy and comfortable. And some of them, as you grow old, they don't feel the same anyway. No matter who you are, once the age comes, you don't feel the same. You age with aches and pains.
Yes.
And in the process of all these aches and pains, you need to get a remedy. Maybe by getting drugs or by getting people who will take care of you, either loving you or taking you out or giving you the necessary nutrition. So these are things that we do for them. We give them what we can at the time we can. We also take them out to get fresh air. We take them to gardens. We also give them health check. We get doctors, nurses, take their blood pressure, do diabetes, sugar level tests for them, eye checks. We take them to the hospitals. And for those who have issues, we see that we try giving them drugs. We also try asking the hospitals that we go to we take them to for eye checks, to give them pro bono services, like for eyes. Some get surgery, some get glasses, and these are some of the things we do to cushion the effect. Some of them are seriously ill. They are bedridden. They can't move. We help with wheelchairs. We help them with crutches for those who need crutches at any point in their time. We have hot water bottles. We have blankets to give them for the weather. We also have other things that we know the elderly people will want at every point in their life. Sometimes you find that some of them cannot even move to the toilet. So you need people to help them sit on something that will help them before throwing it out. Because once you can't move from your room to the toilet, it's a problem.
Yes.
And you know that the toilets that we have in Africa, particularly in our homes, not the modern homes, they are toilets that need walking some distance.
Exactly.
And it's not always easy for them. So this we get for them so that they can, you know, do whatever they have to do, and somebody else will have to take it out. But that has to involve the family, because we alone cannot do all this for them.
Exactly.
We give them the support we can and give instruction to the families to also help, because we can't take them all and say we're going to take care of them, because even paying caregivers is a lot of money. You cannot pay that salary except except if you are really very rich. And that's why sometimes we open up and say we need people to key into our program.
Yes.
We need assistance from stakeholders, from anybody who is interested, because aging is for everybody.
It's for everybody. We'll get there one day.
And elderly people, they are not only meant for their families, they are meant for everybody. If you help an elderly person, it's just like you are helping your own person too. The reward is there. Apart from the reward, you know, that feeling of satisfaction that you have done something good is there also. So that is why sometimes we are always appealing that wherever an elderly person is, whether in the home or with us, all we are asking for is that anywhere they need assistance, please assist them.
Well, you know, this part of the country we are, and according to our tradition, you know, any home you go to, there are relations here and there, at least to assist people, the elderly. Now, taking them away from their blood and, you know, shielding them or putting them in a secluded place, does it have any effect on them?
One, we are not really taking them away.
Okay.
And we don't even advocate for taking them away. The home is meant for those who are indigent. Okay. They find that there are people that they don't have children at all. Some have been abandoned, and you need to help them. Those are the type of people you bring to help them, rather than allow them die because of neglect, or you let them die because of loneliness. You just bring them in and show them love. But for those whose people are able to take care of them, what we want them to do is to come and see people of their peer groups, talk to them, laugh with them, play some games with them, and then just feel like, oh, somebody is there that I can always relate with. Because, you know, at home, the children can't relate with the elderly properly.
Exactly.
Some of these children, when the elderly talk, they laugh at them. They don't understand what they are saying. And now that everybody goes out, in the morning the children go to school, the woman of the house goes to work, the man too goes to work. There's nobody left at home except the elderly. And while they are there, all they do is to maybe keep some food beside them and water, and tell them, just take care of yourself until we return.
Until we come back.
Which is not good enough for them.
Wow.
That quiet, you know, that period that they'll be so quiet, nobody talk to them, is not good for them. That will set them thinking. That will make loneliness creep into their lives.
Yes.
And once they become lonely, they become depressed. And that is how sometimes you find people who you think they are mad, or who now begin to develop dementia. Because
so in that case, how do you manage their emotions?
Emotions are managed. You bring people, just like I said, when they come out, they see people of their peer group. Let's say you are 60, you see somebody who is 60, you know what you'll be saying will be the same. You are talking on the same level.
Yes.
The person is telling, oh, do you remember when we used to? You just laugh, oh yes, we too, we used to. You know, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Then maybe you went to school, you tell the person, oh, I went to so school and we used to do. You are talking on the same level. So that is how the emotions are managed. But when you take them to children, when the person mentions something that was done in the 60s or in the 50s and they just laugh, the person feels, oh, am I mad? Or is there something wrong with me? Because they don't seem to understand. And it's like you are telling them that they are saying nonsense, which of course will also give them that emotional, they can't relate. And it gives them that emotional feeling too. that also I'm now a mad person because everybody laughs at me when I say some. But when they see people of their own peer group, they are saying the same thing. They all know what happened then. They all know what they went through, and it's like they are exchanging ideas, and it's giving them that satisfaction that, oh, I'm really around and I'm not alone. Yes.
Well, in these few years that you've been into this, what has been your challenges so far with taking care of the elderly?
Well, challenges are many, but basically we have challenges of funds because whatever we do, money is involved. When we take them to hospital, we pay because the government has not made it possible for us to get anything free for them, and there is no subsidy for them. If you want to buy their drugs, you buy their drugs at the rate the pharmacy are selling this drug, because it's not as if they say this is for the elderly people, and when anybody who is from the age of this age, we are going to give that person drug either half the rate or free. So whatever we do involves money, and we are appealing to the government. Whatever they want to do now, they should have the elderly people in mind. Their healthcare, now they have a primary healthcare scheme that is going to take off. They want to equip the primary health centers where you find everything that is supposed to be for the elderly. In fact, they're going to consider the elderly more in the primary health centers. But also hospitals. We need where an elderly person will go and will be able to see a specialist without extra charge, because here if you want to see a psychiatrist, you will pay extra. If you want to see a dentist, you pay extra. If you want to see an eye doctor, you pay extra because they call them specialists, and you pay consultation. Elderly people don't have money to do so. So for us that are taking care of them, we too have to go the way of getting people who are ready to give us pro bono services, so that we plead with them and say, these are elderly people, and please, we need you to do free checks on them and help them with some drugs. And it has been a challenge to us because there's only one hospital that does that for us now, the Tulsi Chandra Hospital, the Indian hospital. But for other things, we are, go hand in hand, because we give them what we have, and what we don't have, we don't give. So that is why you find that it's a lot of challenge. And taking them out too, we use our own vehicle, we fuel them, we have our ambulances, we take care, we service, we buy these things. So these are all things we do on our own right now, without the input of government. And elderly people cannot survive without money, because when you are aging with a lot of aches and pains, and you are aging with so many health challenges. Some health challenges need even going beyond the shores of this country.
Yes.
But when the money is not there, this is how you manage them, and you watch them until God takes their life. And that is why we are saying that elderly people's business is everybody's business. And we are pleading that they should take elderly people's business seriously. Some of them are not that old that they can't do anything, but because in this country, when you are 60, you are forced to retire. Whether you have energy or not, you are forced to retire. And sometimes when you retire, except you on your own find something to do, you are forced to stay at home. And that staying at home is what we are trying to avoid. Where you can do some art and craft, where you can do some businesses. Beyond these shows, what they do is that they engage them like salespersons.
Yes.
You see them in the shop, they just sit. After all, it's just asking you, what do you want? You tell them, they collect the money, they give you the receipt, and it keeps them busy. There are other places they can be useful. Not just staying at home, eating and sleeping, and everybody abandoning them. We want the society to consider them for other jobs after the age of 60. There should be places that they are useful. Even in the hospitals, you can get them where they can maybe sit, give out, because some of them are literate enough. Because those that are literate, once they retire, they want to do anything to keep busy. And those who are not literate enough, they want to do some art and craft, handwork.
Yes.
They want to do some small petty
Because
businesses.
I was going to ask, in your home, do you create any extra activities for them to keep them busy?
We are trying to make them, whatever talent you have, put it into use. If you are making soap, if you are selling small things like groundnut, whatever you can do, you don't just sit and do nothing. Whatever you can do that will keep you busy, that is exactly what we want to do. It has to be you are interested in it. It's not as if we're going to say go and do this. Tell us what you want to do, tell us what you are interested in, and we'll just provide a little capital for you. The humanitarian affairs have started training. They started training some of them in what they want to do, and they want to start giving them some maybe stipends to aid them in as capital, just to keep them busy, maybe in the range of 20,000-30,000, just to keep them busy. And that is why we are saying that if it continues, a lot of elderly people will be happy that even when I'm old, at least if I still want to do something, somebody can come to my aid.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, that is it.
I at this point want to say that you advise our viewer watching us the attitude that we have for the elderly, you know, because at that point all of us will get there when the time comes. So at that point they need a lot of attention, they need a lot of economic independence, they need a lot of care. So I want you to advise our viewer watching about the attitude to our elderly, because we know we all have them in our homes, be it in the urban center or rural, we all have them around. And to us too, because we know one day we'll age and we'll get to the age that they are right now. So you advise our viewer.
Yes, just like you said, life is a journey. First you are born, the last thing is you are praying to age. And when you age, you want to age into a loving family, a loving society. It's not easy to stay with elderly people, because at that time some of them have already become like children. And the patience, what you need is a lot of patience. Just like you need patience with little ones, you know how they behave. You run after them, you tell them stop, they don't stop, you bring them to sit down, they go back. The elderly people too are like that, and they are even worse. Because for those who age with dementia, it's really, really hectic dealing with them, because you need to watch over them 24/7. So what I would advise is that wherever you are and you find yourself with the elderly, first is patience. You need to be very, very patient with them. You need to look at them not as people who are adults anymore, or those who have taken care of you and have beaten you one day and asked you to do the right thing. They now will be doing the wrong things. So you are now supposed to change the rules. You are now to tell them what to do. You are now supposed to pet them. You are now supposed to encourage them. Even to eat, some people will tell you they will not eat until you pet them. So you are now going to change the role. That role they played when you were young, it has now been reversed. You are now supposed to play that role. Talk to them lovingly. Don't scold them. Give them what they want. If they need anything, if it's going to be harmful to them, you don't shout at them and tell them, look, I'm not giving you because it's going to. You talk to them and give them reasons why they shouldn't have it. You should always find time to talk to them. Find time to gist with them. Find time to take them out. Find time to even travel with them sometime and show them places, because they need that exposure. They need to go out. They need to get fresh air. And when they are sick, please pay attention to them, because some of them age with hearing impairment, some with vision impairment. So all these are not things that we can control, but when they have them, know how to deal with them. Take them for checks, take them for whatever thing that you think they need to do, and encourage your children to play with them. Encourage your children to stay around them, and advise your children not to treat them otherwise. Because you know, children, when they are around elderly people, they think that the elderly person doesn't know what, and some even try beating them. because we have a lot of abuses in the house of these elderly people, only that they are not recorded and nobody knows. And that's why abroad you find that they put the CCTV so that they can monitor, because they can be very irritating.
Yes.
It gets to a point that when you are talking, you have to talk several times, not knowing maybe they already have hearing impairment. You keep talking and they just look at you, and you come around and hit them and say, are you not hearing what I'm saying? And actually they did not hear. So what you need to do is try to understand them. You have to be very, very understanding. And you know, whatever it is they do, don't think they are doing it because they want to do it. Take it as part of that process. They got to that point not by their own making. Long life is something everybody wants to enjoy. We all pray for long life, but we pray for long life that will make us happy, that we enjoy. Because no need to pray for long life if in the long run people will abuse you, you will be tired of living, and nobody takes care of you. It's not the kind of long life we are praying for. We are praying for long life that anytime the people around us see us, they too will admire us and pray that they get to that point where we are. So love, care, attention, and feed them properly. These are things I would advise for those who are living with the elderly people.
Wow, this conversation for me this morning made my day, because we know we have them all around us, and like you said, life is a journey. What you want to get, give it to someone else.
Exactly.
Because definitely one day it will now be your turn.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, and we appreciate what you are doing out there for the elderly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking your time to come talk to us.
I appreciate you.
All right. Yes, we have been speaking with Hawa Umar Jibril. She is the founder of the Pulse Old People's Home, and she has told us a lot this morning. We need to be extra careful, extra patient with the elderly, because they need love, they need our attention. Well, the program continues shortly after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.